everyone, it's your friend Thinknoodles, and welcome to Ask Think for May of 2017, and I almost forgot to make this video, guys. Yeah, usually Mondays do not fall on the first day of the month. I mean, they do, but like not all the time, and actually more often than not, they're not the first of the month. And I was making videos, and I was like, so what am I gonna do for Monday? I'm gonna do Pokemon Sun. No! Ask Think, how can I forget? So yeah. Anyway, last month's question for you guys was, if you could have the whole alphabet of unknowns, what would your team look like? And Huraira B says, I would have a team of unknowns spelling Roblox because it's my favorite game to play and it's super fun. But if I had 8 slots, it would be Rickroll. Jenna Frustaci says, reply to the awesome question, the team of unknowns would be Potat, and you guessed it. Oh, you might be wondering why I would pick Potato. Well, it's just derpy swag, awesome Friday food. See what I did there? Friday fries. Well, that's why. And yes, I know it's potato, but I like saying potato. Stone Pembleton says mine would be Taylor because I love Taylor Swift. LOL. Don't judge me. I don't judge you because I like Taylor Swift's music too. Jamie Blake says, I would have the unknown letters family because it reminds me of my family. Well, that's sweet. Bronco Bro 01 says mine would be shiny exclamation because maybe it would give me luck at shinies. Not a bad idea. Smiling Emoji Girl 101 asks or says, if I can make a team full of unknowns, it would obviously be Think exclamation. It would be amazing. Well, thank you for that. Redstone Man says for my team, they would be shiny, and the letters would be free exclamation because I'm a free spirit. Ariana Wegner says they would be Abby exclamation exclamation style. Love my cat, and she makes me happy, and her name is Abby, right? I think you left that part out, but I think we figured it out. Cam Volker said I would have Potter for Harry Potter. Nice one. Kitty Crafter says unknowns. Unknowns? I don't know. Can you fill something with an uncone? Isn't that like an idea? Or maybe an unknown Pokemon. But how would you not know what your Pokemon are? I don't even play Pokemon. It's just so unknown for me. I love that. Elizabeth Garcia says, I will have the forms of unknown that spell out, I love you. I feel it'd be very cute when fighting with other people. The Explosive Headquarters says theirs would be Zelda exclamation because I love Legend of Zelda and Nintendo rocks. Big Will Style 9905 says Nicole because it's my mom's name. That's super sweet. Dara Haydari says it would be live because, or I guess live plus exclamation exclamation, because forwards, it spells live, which describes me, a lively person. Backwards, it describes the opposite of me, evil. Wordplay God, Deadpool Plays says MLG Pro because it's just so MLG like you think. Aw. Ender Cookies says, unknown team. That's easy. Think new. Oh, wait, that's too long. Okay, how about Think C? Nope, that's too long as well. Oh, how about Dan TDM? Yes, that works. But then it wouldn't be fair because I love you guys all so much. Oh, I know, Yanoda. Da from Dan TDM, no from Thinknoodles, and Ya from Think Sia. Yep, I'm sticking with that. Okay, sure. Logan curses mine would be L-O-G-A and N because those letters are just simply awesome. And they spell your name. I'm on to you. Digi says I would have Flowey because I like the names of the characters and Undertale. You monster. No. So for me, I've been going back and forth between two. And I can't decide. So I'm gonna just say them both. The first one would be Justin. And the other one would be Noodle. I could not decide whether it was Justin or Noodle. I think it would just depend on the situation. So for next month's question, it comes to us from Enzo Gaming and Legos, and it is, if you had the chance to own any company you want, which company would it be? For him, he would own Legos because he absolutely loves them. Now, before we get to the questions for me, I do want to remind you to leave your question in the comments below so I can have something to answer in the next episode. Remember, only one question per comment, but you can leave as many comments as you like. Also, if the comments on this Ask Think are closed, go to the most recent Ask Think and ask your question there. So Emily Tanguy asks me, when are you and your wife planning on having children? I think you guys would be amazing parents. Thank you. And yeah, this goes back to the last episode where someone asked when I was gonna have a baby, and I made a joke about it. But soon, we are now in our own apartment, and my wife is out of training. So we do want to have children soon. However, we do have this, I kind of want to say, bad habit of traveling to places that have Zika mosquitoes, that have reported infection of Zika, like Grand Cayman. We go there often. Kopi loves it. We love bringing her, and we have to commit to saying, okay, we're gonna have kids, so we can't go to Grand Cayman for the next year. And that's really hard for us. We're gonna have to do it, but it's hard for us because we worry that, not that we've gotten Zika or anything like that. We worry that maybe one of us has it. We didn't know. We get bit by a mosquito while we're down there and she's pregnant. Something like that. It would be devastating. AshGirl04 asks, when is your parody video gonna come out? I'm not rushing you, but you said it would come around the time the new Pokemon series would come out, and it didn't. I added that part. Right, so it might, I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, you guys cross yours as well, this weekend. If not this weekend, next weekend. The song is done. You can get it now on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, Google Play, all of that. The animation is like 90% finished. Actually, the animation bits are done. We're just waiting for the finishing shots to render out, and that should be very, very soon. I am excited. Pride and Polyjuice asks, so I think it's been about a month. How's your new apartment? Tell us everything. It's amazing. First of all, it echoes. You guys can hear that, I'm sure. That's not the amazing part, but it does because there's nothing on the walls. And speaking of nothing on the walls, there's also nothing on the windows, which are great. I love these windows. They're big and there's lots of light. Even today, it is overcast and gray, but it's bright in here and it makes me happy and it makes me smile. In our old apartment, it was dark and my office was in the back corner. It had no windows. I used to call it the cave because it didn't matter if it was like 1 in the morning or 1 in the afternoon. It was still dark, 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 which kind of gets depressing after a while, just heading into this little dark, cramped area. So also, my office is going to be a lot bigger. I'm currently in the second bedroom with a few sound panels, like basically on the floor. They don't cover all the walls here, so that's why it's more echoey. My videos have been more echoey since we've lived here, but we are loving it. I love the view. I love my new espresso machine. I love the people here. It's the same neighborhood we lived in before, so that hasn't changed, and we loved that before. But back to those windows, which are amazing. We don't have any window coverings for them still. They need to be custom made because the windows are really tall and they aren't done yet. So the drawback to that is with all the light, you wake up about 10 to 6 every single morning because the sun is super duper bright. iNerdy asks, what are the activities and hobbies you're into, like swimming, archery, etc., not gaming or walking? Kopi. Scuba diving. Love to scuba dive with my wife. That's one of our favorite activities together. We like going to concerts in the summers. I've tried kiteboarding. I'm still awful at it and I don't own any equipment, but that was super fun. In the winter, we like to ski. We haven't gone in the last couple of years, just with her and training and everything. It just hasn't worked out that we could go somewhere to go skiing. And also in the winter, we like to bring Kopi if we go anywhere. And we like to ski west, and she can't really go there. Mr. Pancake says, think I'm short, and I know you were too, but did anybody make fun of you in middle school because you were short? Yes, in middle school and in high school, and I remember it was tough. It was really, really tough because, everyone's growing up around you, and you're not, and you're just sort of left behind, and I hated that. I hated it. I understand completely, and you will grow, and that will end. The minute you start growing, it'll end and you don't have to worry about it ever again. So that's the only consolation I can give, is that there is an end in sight. But I do want to say something, and I'm not making fun of you or anything. I just think it's kind of, it's almost just like the words. Okay, so if you just cut off the part about being making fun of, and you see Mr. Pancakes think I'm short, and then there's pancakes there. It's like a short stack of pancakes, like they all go together. Exoskelebot says, for some of your videos I've been commenting, oh my noodles instead of OMG. It's OMN. Just to throw that out there, maybe you can start saying it, maybe. And also, May 3rd is your birthday. When is yours? Think, oh my noodles, did it already happen? So happy early birthday for you. And no, my birthday did not happen. It is May 30th. And oh my noodles, hold on, let me try this. Oh my noodles. Oh, I might have trouble with that. I had a hard time going from OMG to oh my goodness. Like, well, apologies to anyone who's offended by this, but oh my God. I used to say that to oh my goodness, and because it offended some people who were religious. So I made a conscious effort to say oh my goodness, and that was really hard. And for me to go from oh my goodness to oh my noodles, it doesn't come naturally to me. So I might have a really hard time with it, but I could try if you guys want me to. Matster Gamer asks, why don't you have a house instead of an apartment? Well, living in Manhattan, unless you are ultra rich, you live in an apartment. In order for you to own a house and the land that you're building, you know, and they're not really houses as you might think in Manhattan, but they're, you know, it's like a small building, maybe a 3-story building with, you know, each floor is a floor of your house. Those cost like, I don't even know, like $10 million. So yeah, you have to be really rich to have a house in Manhattan. Never Upload asks, yo, think I'm one of your older members in your fandom. I agree. It's cold in New York. I'm freezing as well. And I have a question. How did you deal with your asthma when you were a kid? I have life-threatening chronic asthma, and I'll be starting medication soon, but I'm really scared I don't want to have this horrible asthma. Well, medication did help me, definitely, especially when I was younger and my asthma was severe and chronic. I did spend a lot of time in emergency rooms as well because even with the medication, just being young and not really understanding my disease or my condition, I don't really like to call it a disease, my condition, that, you know, I would get myself in situations that I shouldn't be in, and I would end up in the emergency room. I couldn't breathe. But over time, I learned to avoid cats, basically. That was, well, and other things, but cats was the biggest thing. And to take my medication and manage things well, that things got okay. And then as I grew up, my lungs got bigger. And I think that even, well, when I see a cat, when I go into someone's house and there's a cat, after an hour, I'm having trouble. But for the most part, anything else that's a mild allergen to me may produce mucus in my lungs. But my lungs are bigger because I'm an adult now and I'm not overweight or anything like that. So I don't need that much of my lungs to breathe. So I don't even detect the wheezing and it doesn't bother me anymore. Dara Heydari says, about Facecam. I know you think Facecam takes up space in gaming videos, but why can't you do vlogs that show your face? We'd all love that if the reason is because some fans have an idea of what you look like. Simply put a warning at the beginning of the video and your face will be shown. Finally, if it's because you're self-conscious, don't be, because the people who unsubscribe because of how you look never belong here in the first place. Okay, so, yeah, so I actually talked about this with Dan. He was here for almost a week in New York, and this was a topic of conversation for us. He asked me the exact same question. He's like, why don't you do Facecam? And it's for both of the reasons he put there. I mean, one, that people have an idea of what I look like, and I'm worried about they're gonna unsubscribe, and those kind of go hand in hand, right? Because I've been doing this for 5 years, and guys, I have a young voice. You know, I do. I have a high voice. It's young, and I don't necessarily look anything like the voice that you hear. And I am terrified that, you know, my young voice and my old body don't match up to your impression. So that's really tough for me. Like, you guys have no idea, or maybe you do, but it's really tough for me. So I told him that, that people have this impression of me or have been fans for a long time, and then I fall short of that. I fall flat from that, or it's just completely different. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like that's not what I expected, and it's ruined. I'm so worried about that. And you're right. He said the exact same thing as you. He said, you know what? when he said when he started putting face cam on his videos, people reacted. Some reacted well and some didn't. And some people said they're unsubscribing because they didn't like the way he looked. And he said, but the thing is, it didn't matter because they were not true fans to begin with. And the ones that were still supported him. And I know you guys will do that. But there are a few other things that go hand in hand with putting face cams. And like, for example, there are good things, right? So for example, this, Ask Think. This is actually the perfect medium for a face cam, right? Instead of gameplay in the background, I'm right here looking at you, talking to you, answering your questions that you're asking to me. You're right. That is, I'm still able to do these videos, but they would actually be better probably if I was looking right at you. Or not. Maybe if you don't like how I look, you probably would hate it. But keeping myself off of videos, it does prevent me from doing other types of videos like reaction videos. I can't do those. Those just won't translate well. And then there are there is one of the things I told Dan was I was envious of his editing creativity that it affords him, right? So for example, let's say Bendy and the Ink Machine, right? During that video, they have kind of like long tape recorders playing, right? And for me to convey to you guys what I'm thinking while I'm listening to it, I kind of have to interrupt the recording. So the guy's talking and I have to say, ooh, or right? But instead of interrupting, I could look at the face cam and, make a reaction on my face without interrupting the recording and sort of convey to you guys how I'm feeling without actually having to speak. And also, of course, there is that creative editing where you can I make a really stupid face and I can blow it up big in the video and really accentuate the idiocy that is me. And so Dan did encourage me to put face cams on. I mean, obviously ease you guys into it, but he did encourage me to because he said that, it allows you to connect with your subscribers and all of your fans so much deeper than you could without it. And he is so glad that he made the choice to do it. And he doesn't want me to miss out if I was afraid for some reason. Don't be afraid. So he's a really good friend, but he did mention that one of the drawbacks is, whenever we go out with Dan, people recognize him, and he did say, you do have to make this decision for yourself, whether, you want to be able to go out the door and be completely anonymous, just a random person in the city, or if you are willing to forego that privacy to be recognized, because you will get recognized, and there is a loss of privacy and anonymity when you go out. And that's something that my wife and I have been talking about. And this is a decision that we have to make together, because if I were to start using face cam on my videos and doing vlogs and stuff, of course, she would probably be in them as well, especially the vlogs and things like that. And that would be a loss of privacy to her. And, I can't make that decision for her. We have to make that decision together. So I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm not saying I'm not doing it, but I am saying that I am considering it. Whew. Okay, Chara the Chocolate Churro says, Indonesia, please go in the summer, maybe, because I'm going to Jakarta. We are actually going to Indonesia. It's been a long time since we've been there, but we're going to Thailand and Bali. Sorry, I'm skipping Jakarta in August. Priya Rocks asks, has Kopi ever bitten you? I know she's friendly, but has she? We play this little game where we she sort of tugs on my hand. She's always done it since she was a puppy, and I love the little game. So I sort of push her around, and she starts to get mad and starts like that. And then she'll bite on my hand, but she'll only let me put my hand in her mouth, and she won't bite down. That's about as far as it ever has gone. Ender Cookies asks, hey, Think, I noticed in your recent videos when you get excited, Kopi gets a bit concerned if you scream too much or run around the house excitedly, but I love when you do that. So I wondered, does she normally sit by your chair whenever you record? Also, what does she like to do for fun? Kopi likes to eat and get petted by people and meet people for fun. She doesn't care much for dogs. She usually just walks right past them and goes straight to the people. But yes, she is almost always directly behind me. Like right now, she's literally laying right behind me with her butt, her back laying against the wheels on my chair. And whenever I get excited and jump up, you know, the wheels bump her and I jump up and go running and she's like, wait, whoa, I was asleep. What happened? Did I miss something? So she gets worried because I'm just running out screaming and she has no idea what's going on because she was, I don't know, dreaming about eating cupcakes or something. PandaBoy365 asks, why did you choose the name Thinknoodles? Did you think of another one before? Yes, when I started my first website, Webkinz Insider, which started this whole thing, I had a very different and creative username. It was Justin. But when I started playing Club Penguin, I needed a username because Justin was taken, and one of our favorite restaurants at the time was this place called Republic, whose slogan was Think Space Noodles exclamation point. And I was like, that might make a funny username. So I typed it into Club Penguin, all one word. It was exactly the number of characters for a username, maximum characters for a username in Club Penguin, and it stuck. Shreya Zucchi asks, when was the very first time you met Dan in person? That would be Minecon 2013, right on the show floor. So he only had, well, like I think at the time, like 800,000 subscribers. His channel was just blowing up. And so he was able to just roam the floor without getting stopped too much. Zach Sharp asks, have you ever been to Dan TDM's show? Yes, my wife and I went to his very first show in Brighton. And then when he was here, we went to the show in Upper Darby or Philadelphia. Alpha Hunter says, can you put in the title when you play Bed Wars? I don't know why. I never thought of that before. Yeah, of course. You know what? From now on, I'm going to put the title of the game that I'm playing in the episode of Ask Think. I don't know why I never did that. Thank you. What a great idea. Noodle Soup asks, do you like your own videos? YouTubers always say, smash that like button or pick up those chopsticks and poke that like button. And I was wondering if they did that themselves. Yes, I do. And yes, they do. That's sort of a best practice for YouTubers. And I'll tell you why. Sometimes, or a lot of times, it actually happened this weekend with my wife's channel. The notifications just don't go to subscribers. For whatever reason, it doesn't show up in sub boxes or it's delayed. So what we do is usually within the first hour of upload, we like the video as well, because when you're subscribed to someone who shares their likes and other, you know, the channels they subscribe to, if the subscriber notification didn't go to your sub box and you're looking through your sub feed, you can see that that YouTuber liked that video, or sometimes it will actually trigger the notification. So yeah, it's sort of a safeguard against really bad notifications on uploads that is YouTube today. No Name asks, do you have any YouTube friends besides Dan and James? Yeah, I do. I mean, I would consider Stampy and Squishy friends as well. I'm not as close with them as I am with Dan and James. Dan and James and I talk every single day, but I don't have a lot of YouTube friends. But yeah, I guess Dan, James, Stampy, Squishy, and the rest I would say acquaintances at best. Katie5670 asks, hey Think, so my question to you is, how can I convince people that I can make a living off my dream job because I want to be a YouTuber, and I'm either told that YouTube is only a secondary job or it will only be luck that gets me through. It's really discouraging and sometimes it really gets me down. Any advice? So I, a lot of times when I meet you guys, your parents tell me that they want to be a YouTuber. I mean, that's so common, whether, my daughter wants to be a YouTuber, my son wants to be a YouTuber. And they ask me the same thing. Do you have any advice? And I say, yes, absolutely encourage them. Because I think you can learn so many things with YouTube, even if you're not successful, right? You can learn so many things, like you can learn programming, you can learn like video editing, you can learn photo editing, you can learn public speaking, you can learn all kinds of business skills. So much goes into a YouTube channel that no one really knows. It's beyond, I mean, just because I play games, right, doesn't mean that it's not like, you do everything. You go from, video editing, and then you learn about different resolutions and how to scale things, and you learn about compression. So much can be learned. And whether you become successful or not in YouTube, you may actually learn, oh, I really like you know, I really like photo editing. I really like video editing. I really like, you know, directing. There's so many things that can be learned. And so I encourage them so much to, or I tell them to encourage you guys. But I think that the best thing you can do is go ahead and start a YouTube channel, of course, with permission, and show them what you're capable of making and learn as much as you can and show them the quality of your videos, and they may take you seriously, and you can direct them into this video and you can say, listen to Thinknoodles, YouTube is his only job, because it is and it can be. ADL Alvarez asks, who is the best Pokemon you have in Brick Bronze? Also is your first Pokemon. So my first Pokemon was Charlie the Charizard, well, Charmander at that point. But I think my best Pokemon right now is Luke the Lucario. But now that I've got my Shedinja, I think that might end up being my best favorite Pokemon once I EV train it. We'll see, but I'm pretty excited about that. Crystal Clarity asks, Dear Think, how did you help Think's wife obtain her Eevee from the old man in Sylvan? Tried everything with no luck, and many people are facing the same problem. So what I did is I went and joined the group. If you go to the Roblox Pokemon Brick Bronze page just before you press the play button, there's a group you can join. Join that group and then wait like 24 to 48 hours or so, and then go back and you should be able to get the Eevee from him. eDog250 asks, think will you ever do Mario Kart with Dan and James? Noodle. I think you mean Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which just came out on the Switch. And yes, I'm definitely going to be playing with Dan. Now, the thing is, maybe not on video, because Dan had texted me and said, dude, I got Mario Kart Deluxe 8. When I get home, we're playing. But that might mean like me and Rochelle and Dan and Gemma are just going to play for fun and maybe not record it. I don't know. That said, I did get a note from Stampy that he wanted to do some sort of collab with him and Squishy and a few other YouTubers. So I'm gonna do that for sure. Spirit Fox says, hey, Think, who is your favorite character from Undertale? I bet you'll say Sans. You would be wrong. It's of course Papyrus, because he's obsessed with noodles just like me. Leo the 6th asks, when did you first get into Pokemon? Okay, so this one's a little tough. Technically, it was when I first played Pixelmon, but the thing is, with that series, the first Pixelmon series, I approached that from a Minecraft perspective, right? Like, it was about building, it was about, you know, I was actually going through caves and finding bauxite, it was crafting, all of that stuff, and it was way more about Minecraft to me than Pokemon. I really did not learn very much about Pokemon during that series. I mean, I learned some of the names of them, but I really didn't learn like natures. I didn't learn, did I even learn? I might have learned EVs. Someone had told me about EVs, but beyond that, like really, I did not learn a lot about it. I didn't really use any of the HMs or TMs that I had, that I bought from the shop. I didn't really use them at all. And I mean, it was, yeah. So anyway, what really got me into Pokemon was Pokemon Go. That's when I really started like understanding like IVs. Ooh, okay, what's this thing? You know, I understood how you EV train something. I didn't know that there was IVs. I didn't know that certain move sets were better than others. I mean, I kind of had an idea of that, but yeah, that's what really got me into it was Pokemon Go. Oh. What? I have a fake twin. He copied my name and picture. No, I haven't. Then the next one, Stabs Twin, crossed out. Huh? Okay, I gotta go. I gotta go, guys. That's it for this episode of Ask Think. Don't forget to leave your question in the comments below so I can have something fun to answer in the next episode. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And please do become a Noodler today and subscribe. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. And of course, Noodle on!